Hi, my name is Mary Phipps. I'm the editor at the Weezer Signal American newspaper, and I'm sitting with Sandy Cooper and talking about the Bee Tree Folk School.
Hi.
Can I ask, why did you establish a folk school in Weezer?
Well, about 20 years ago, Dennis and I were at an alternative healing class in Boise, and we met this gentleman named Jim Nelson, and he was one of the most visionary people I've ever known in my life. I always thought of him as a balloon that needed to be brought back to Earth because he was just so full of ideas. And he had the idea for a school where people could come, families could come and share different things that they knew, crafts or certain skills, or people could just get together and learn things. And he called this the Lifelong Learning Center. He just kept envisioning, and we kind of got caught up in that. And so over the next 2 or 3 years that we were around Jim periodically, that was what we all just dreamed about, how neat that would be. After that time, Jim moved to the Midwest, and we kind of lost touch with him. But I think he pursued that somewhere back in Nebraska, I believe it was. And since we were really busy at the time, we both were working, I had a business, so we put all that on the back burner. The timing wasn't right, but we felt like eventually it was going to be something that, if it was supposed to be, it would happen. And what we didn't know at the time was that this was actually a folk school model that we were looking at.
What do you mean when you say folk school model?
Well, back in the 1830s in Denmark, a gentleman named Grundtvig had this idea. He was an amazing, influential person, probably one of the most influential people in Danish history. He was a pastor, he was a teacher, a philosopher, a historian, a poet, and a politician. And he looked at the educational system in Denmark at that time, and he felt like things could be done a whole lot better, and because basically what they offered there was the learned scholar approach in their universities, and what he wanted was an alternative plan where people in the local communities had an opportunity to come together and learn all sorts of different things without a curriculum that was all compulsory, and that offered learning without having exams or grading. And they wanted them to be practical skills that these people could take back to their communities and actually be more involved in forming the social life there. He also felt that having, I loved what he said, and I could really relate to this. He said that he felt like grading and having exams was deadening to the human soul. And when I read that, I immediately remembered how I felt during algebra class when we had an exam. So I have to agree with him there. So that resonated with me.
What can people learn when they visit the folk school?
Well, we try to offer a whole scope, a very broad scope of learning opportunities, and right now we have a conversational Spanish class going on. We want to focus on music. We've done money management classes, just basic skills, basic living skills, and a focus on rural living skills. We've had an awful lot of people come in from more urban areas that are wanting to live a more rural lifestyle. And so we've been approached by a number of people wanting to learn things like gardening and preserving their own food and raising animals and chickens and all the things that entails. And so right now we're just, because of the restrictions that we have, we're keeping classes small, and we're being very, very safety conscious there. But it gives us time to develop and find out what people really want. We did some surveys long before we started this, to get an idea of what their priority would be and things they'd like to learn. And we don't limit it to just what you might think of as traditional. We've done the Financial Peace University classes here a couple of times. But we just try to offer what people want and find somebody that's willing and able to teach that. And so we feel like that's the best way to serve the community. And it's been really fun to have so many people. It's not just people coming in from out of the area, but local people that want to learn things that maybe have skipped a generation. So it's sewing and that sort of thing. So we'll teach just about anything that's legal that people want to come and teach or to have offered as a class. So we're really anxious to see where this takes us, and it's been a lot of fun. We get to meet a lot of great folks, and it's been just, so far it's been a really fun adventure where we can't wait to get to work every day. So I think we're doing the right thing.
Repeat, please. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Hi, my name is Mary Phipps. I'm the editor at the Weezer Signal American newspaper, and I'm sitting here with Dennis Cooper to talk about the Bee Tree Folk School.
Hi.
Hi. I understand that in addition to the folk school, you also have a museum. How did that come about for you?
Well, it was kind of an accident. A friend of ours, Roderick Emerson Simpson, was a world-class musician and a collector, and dare I say hoarder. And when he passed, his estate bequeathed 16 collections of various artifacts from around the world to our nonprofit, which is called Cooperative Music Incorporated. Some of the collections that we received included rare musical instruments. We have various works of art. We have carved gourds, which I thought might be kind of weird, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Fiber arts done by his mother, Violet Simpson. A comprehensive library of about 5,000 books, and we're going to add a couple thousand books on how to do things to that library. Antique furniture, an extensive record, tape, and video collection, and Nigerian artifacts, recording studio equipment, and over 1,000 18th century Austrian music manuscripts.
So I understand that you are a musician as well. How does that play into your mission with the folk school?
Well, for me it fits pretty well. My first public performance on any kind of instrument, I was 5 years old. It was a piano recital, and I should have been terrified, and I absolutely loved it. So I've been a performer, composer, and a sound engineer most of my adult life, so having the opportunity to include musical performances and education in what we do is pretty exciting. I've recorded and released 4 instrumental albums featuring the diatonic harmonica of all things. So one of the first things we did was to form harmonica and ukulele clubs for our local community, where people ranging in age, I think the youngest was about 8 years old and the oldest was 87, get together and learn how to play those instruments in a group setting where the primary emphasis is on having fun. The interaction between the young people and the old people is awesome. Us old people have gotten used to the fact that the 9-year-olds are going to kick our butts musically. They are amazingly fast learners, and they do an awesome job, but it inspires the rest of us to keep trying. We also host jam sessions, concerts, dances, and other events for members of our community. One of my primary goals is to get to work translating those Austrian manuscripts we received into modern notation so that we can make those available to musicians and orchestras all over the world. Our community recording studio has kind of allowed several local musicians to share their talents with a broader audience, and it allows us to teach sound engineering principles as well.
Why would you encourage people to visit the museum and the school?
I think they need to come down and take a look and visit and let us know what they want to learn.